We'll kick it off by discussing the Richmond Football Club sitting on top of the ladder, looking like they're almost certainties for the grand final. Is their biggest challenger for the premiership this year another team, or is their biggest challenger themselves in terms of making sure that they don't get ahead of themselves to make their grand final?
It'll be both. I mean, it'll be a combination of both, no doubt. Look, we've seen it before. I think the unlosable type games, I would have thought going back to 99 preliminary final where Essendon went in as absolute red-hot favourites and Carlton knocked them over on that particular game. I would have thought you could go to 2008 where Geelong had taken all before them and got to grand final day and just messed it up on the day themselves. And that's taking nothing away from the Hawks, who had a fantastic game on that particular day. But so look, there's been plenty of times in the past where you've had a standout team, and for some reason or another, the standout team hasn't won it. Now that can be a late challenger, as the Bulldogs were the late challengers a couple of seasons ago, really left it almost until September, or that can be just going off the boil a little bit, or an injury or two at the wrong time of the year. So, as much as what it in some ways looks done, it's never that simple.
As you said with the 1999 preliminary final, Damien Hardwick played in that game. If you were him, would you raise that with your team to ensure that they don't make the same mistakes as the Essendon Football Club did that year?
Yeah, I would, but I wouldn't be raising it. I'd be raising it early, like sort of around now. I wouldn't be bringing it up at the time because you sort of, you're putting sort of negative thoughts in their mind, but it may be something that you just roll out and sort of say, look, I've been a part of sides who are extremely successful and didn't get it done. And for us, it's about dotting the I's and crossing the T's and making sure that between now and there that we do everything right and don't get ahead of ourselves. So that would be the way that I think that I would be going about it. You've got to be a little bit careful with the history stuff because players want to live in the now. They don't want a history lesson. They've left school for a purpose, and they're not that keen on all the historical stuff. So you've got to be a little careful. But I think just a tender little warning along the way. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Hey Terry, it's Jed here. In my view, this Richmond Premiership list still very much has your footprint on it due to some of the key influential players who were drafted during your time there, such as Rewalt, Edwards, Rance and Cochrane. When you drafted these players, when they came to the club, did you ever envision that they would have the individual success that they have all had throughout their careers?
Jed, it's a pretty interesting question. I would have to say that of that group, Cochrane was the standout. And clearly he was a pick two. Yeah. If we had Cruiser was the pick one that year, I have no hesitation. If we had pick one, we would have still gone Cochrane. We might have copped a bit of flack because it would have been picking a little bloke over a big bloke, but we clearly thought Cochrane was the standout in that year, and I'd seen a fair bit of him along his journey. I'm sort of out in that Northern Nights area, and my son come through the Northern Nights at a very similar time, so I'd sort of seen Trent Cochrane play since he was about 15 and just knew how good he was, as I'd seen Cruiser play sort of at exactly the same time with the Knights as well. So, we had a real handle on Cochrane, thought he was going to be a star of the game. I think that from there, Rewalt, we really liked his work. We're perhaps a little uncertain of his mobility in his early days. I mean, he had a fair bit of puppy fat as a youngster, and his work ethic was nowhere near what it is today. Probably the hit or miss one of the group was Alex Rance, and you even saw that in his first couple of years. Prodigious talent, backed himself in from day one, like as an under-18, he'd charge down the ground and be really bold, was a super athlete, but just his understanding and learning of the game was something that he needed to really work on. And I genuinely believe, it was after my time there, but when Justin Lepage arrived at the club playing a very, very similar role to him, he had the understanding of what Alex was very good at, and what Alex needed some work with, and worked very closely alongside of him. And Shane Edwards was the interesting one. He was a second round selection at the time, and I never envisaged to be the uncanny player that he's become now. I thought he had really strong work ethic, a nice balance between speed and endurance. So all that side of things were very good, but his lateral vision and his sharpness in and around the contest, as he's matured, he's become really a standout player as well. So, I mean, that's the four guys. And I always have a laugh with the other one is if I hadn't gone through my last sort of 6 to 12 months at the footy club where I had cameras in my face the whole time and got the sack, well, the club wouldn't have got Dustin Martin at the end of that sort of season. So I always have a bit of a laugh about that. So out of bad sometimes comes good, and certainly that was the case for the Richmond Footy Club.